What's up, YouTube? My name is Dontavious Hill, three-time Team USA high jumper, five-time NCAA All-American with current personal best of 7 feet 5 inches in the high jump, and I've coached hundreds of high school athletes to personal records, state championship qualifications, school records, you name it. And today I want to talk to you guys about a drill called the circle run. So the circle run is one of my favorite high jump drills. I've been using it for years. I've used it in college as a professional, and I've coached my high school athletes to use this same drill that I'm going to give away to you guys today for free, right? So the circle run. All right, let's get us a better marker. Let's go with the green. Boom. So first, let's talk about what the idea of the circle run is and what is the purpose of the circle run itself. So the purpose. To learn how to lean, right? So let's just put lean. So the purpose of the circle run is to learn the concept of lean, right? And the way that it works is basically, if this was the flat ground and these are cones, we pretty much want to have a stack or cones or pieces of tape on the track in the form of a circle. And we want to stand here outside of this circle, and we want to run in a circle in our approach direction around this circle, right? And while we're running around this circle in this direction like this, we don't want to run directly on top of the cones or on top of the pieces of tape. What we want to do is stand outside of the cones and the pieces of tape and lean over the top of them when you're coming around the circle, right? So that would kind of look like this. If you were standing right here and the cone was right here, you want to lean in this direction over the top of the cone, okay? And it would look something like you leaned over like this, over the top of that cone, right? That is what we're going for in a circle run. So as we're coming around this thing the entire way, we want that force of our body to be leaned inward the entire way as we're going around this cone, all right? So that is the purpose of a circle run. And understand, like, sometimes athletes may be like, okay, well, I understand what a circle run is and I kind of get how to run it, but how does this help me in the high jump? Well, the way that this helps you in the high jump, right, is when you have lean in the curve of your approach, right? We'll just say curve. When you have lean in the curve of your approach, it allows you to generate force. Centripetal force, to be exact, which is basically rotational force that is going to throw you over the bar into rotation. All right, let's walk through this again. So as a high jumper, when you learn how to do a drill like the circle run and how to perform it properly to where you're leaned over the top of that cone when you're coming around a turn, this is going to teach you when you get into the curve of your approach, when you're running around your curve, leaning away from the bar, how to generate centripetal force or generate what I like to call torque around that curve to throw your body over the bar into rotation, okay? And what the circle run teaches you is not only to lean, right? You're gonna learn how to lean, but it also teaches you something that's very important called maintaining momentum. It's gonna put maintain. Because In a circle run, like one thing I always describe to our athletes is a circle run is an extended movement, right? When you do a circle run, you want to do a lap, right? Or sometimes you want to do 2 laps at a time. There's no point in doing 3, 4, 5. It's not an endurance workout, right? It's teaching you how to maintain momentum. Well, technically it's endurance for the high jump, but it's not to run 5, 6, 7, 8 laps, right? 2 maximum is all you need. And having that circle anywhere like 15 feet, really 20 feet but 20 feet diameter on that circle. And I say 20 feet diameter, like when you have your circle, you want this length to be about 20, let's say anywhere 20 to 25 feet. So the circle isn't too tight and you can still run around and get some good lean. And people play around with different sizes and lengths of circles. That's what I like. You guys can play around with it, see how you like. But the tighter the circle, the tighter the turn, the more pressure on the ankles. Okay? So, like I said, the circle run allows you to maintain momentum. And a good way to think about it is, in the high jump, you really only have those 2 to 3 seconds in the curve to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to get off of the ground, right? Like 2 to 3 seconds. In a circle run, you're spending like 10 to 15 seconds running around in this circle, trying to hold a position that only needs to be held for 2 to 3 seconds. What is that going to do for you as a high jumper? It is going to build your endurance. It is going to strengthen your core. Because if you can run around this circle for 15 seconds, when it comes time to get into a high jump curve and you only have to be here for like 3 seconds, you can be much more efficient. Okay? So when you can learn how to hold a position coming around a circle run for 15 seconds or so, getting your 2 laps in, coming around, boom, boom. When you get to the high jump and you have to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and take off into the pit, you have gotten so skilled at holding your curve, holding your lean, working the curve, that when it's time to take off and do like your actual approach, you're so efficient and sharp. That is the circle run. And that is how you can turn your approach into being more efficient or to being better. Because you're training it in a certain way that's going to allow you to be more efficient. Okay? So just to walk back through our key points here, the main purpose of the circle run is to be able to lean. Whenever you learn how to lean in a high jump, what that does is it allows you to work your curve. It allows you to generate force in the curve of your approach, centripetal force like torque of a wrench. And then from that point, if you have your lean, you work the curve, you have your force, that's going to get you rotation, right? In this extended period, practicing running around this circle is what gives you that endurance when you only have to do it in this short cycle right here, right? So if you're the high jumper or you're the parent of a high school high jumper or a high school high jumper and you want to improve in the sport and you want to know how to do different drills like this and be properly instructed by a high jumper who has been able to make Team USA multiple occasions, NCAA All-American appearances, you name it, then it's real easy, guys. Take 60 seconds out of your day to apply for a free call down below at the link so that we can hop on a call and see where your athlete is in their high jump journey, see where they want to get to, and walk you guys through what my coaching process will look like so that we can help you improve in the high jump and get to jumping some higher bars. All right. So yeah, guys, like I said, go ahead and click that link down below and apply for a call so that we can hop on, get you guys rolling, jumping some higher bars, and get into a state championship, personal records, you name it. Anything is possible when you have the right guidance. So see y'all on the other side.